Welcome back to Halftime Report on CNBC TV18. That recovery is what we're seeing coming in for the market right now. We're seeing 24,850 levels. About that is what the Nifty is trading at. But US President Donald Trump has actually said that US will levy the 25% tariff on India. Sonal is here to decode the impact of this that could come in for OMCs as well as the chemical sector. Sonal.
Thank you so much for that. Well, do remember that India is importing 25% of its oil from Russia. And Donald Trump, apart from that 25% tariff, did say there'll be a penalty because India is importing that oil from Russia. So important to note that as well. But if we talk about the impact, there have not been very specified contours of this tariff on oil and gas in particular. So DAM Capital says, though there is no current incremental impact, so to say, as a part of the overall trade deal with US, it could be the most impacted sector after autos once more granular details come out. They say it could be about commitment to purchase US ethane, US gas. Now, do remember, we do have a lot of imports coming in from the US when it comes to gas. So they say there could be a possibility that there will be incremental contracts, there will be incremental capex that the US could ask India to make, and that would mean higher capex from companies like GAIL and Petronet LNG. But again, there is no finality on this one. Nuvama says that oil marketers and refiners could be hurt as India currently imports around 1/3 of oil at meaningful discount from Russia. However, important to note that there have been sanctions earlier by the European Union as well on Russia when it comes to crude prices, crude capping as well, and that hasn't impacted OMCs so much, and this is something that they had indicated in the last quarter as well. So it is the developing story that we are talking about. In terms of chemicals, there is no meaningful impact till the time there is some clarity on tariffs on China, because that's the biggest competitor in terms of inputs and final products as well. So all depends on what happens with China when it comes to the final tariffs. If it is lower for China, we will be at a disadvantage, but it could be vice versa as well. So all in all, more details are awaited. So far, we are watching out for details on what happens to imports coming in from the US when it comes to shale gas, ethane and spot LNG as well. And overall, what happens with Russian crude oil prices, which we are importing on a large scale.
Okay, yes, absolutely. Lots of moving parts. Thanks very much for that, Sonal. In fact, for pharmaceuticals, it'll be interesting to see because as of now, there's no clarity in terms of whether or not or what the tariff situation would be. But in any case, the feedback that I've got is that if it's till 25%, there's a likelihood that it's going to be passed on to consumers in the US, and there will be a churn of portfolios. The products which cannot actually have high margins on account of that will probably have to be removed from the portfolios that Indian pharma companies do have. Well, on that note, we'll take a short break, but we'll get you a lot more on stock-specific action. Stay tuned.